Bradford need 2 points in the race for a top 4 spot. Featherstone need them to avoid the drop. This match will be just like a cup final. Well, these two teams have already met in one cup final this season. That was at Headingley 5 months ago. Then it was Bradford's day. The Welsh flyer Gerald Caudle careered over for 2 match-winning tries, and by 20 points to 14, David Hobbs and his team got their hands on the Yorkshire Cup. Now Hobbs is the coach, and he has another trophy in his sights, the Premiership. A top 4 finish in the league will mean a home tie in the Premiership first round, and victory today will leave Northern with every chance of that. If we move to the other end of the table, there's Featherstone's plight, still a point behind Lee and Sheffield, the other teams hoping to avoid the trapdoor into the second division. All three have 2 games left. Lee's home game with Castleford is now on Tuesday, then they have to go to Wigan. Sheffield are at St Helens today, highlights of that later in the programme, and then at home to Hull. Featherstone must beat either Bradford today or Leeds at Headingley on Good Friday to have any chance of maintaining the Division 1 representation in this part of West Yorkshire.
In this area, Wakefield, Castleford and Featherstone should all be in the first division, and we get some good local derbies, and I think the rugby in this area deserves it.
One problem for Peter Fox's team this season has been their habit of throwing away winning positions. For instance, against St Helens here in November. 2 more points then, and they'd be favourites to stay up now. And talking of favourites, no one's more popular at Post Office Road than Jeff Gratian. At 41, the oldest man still playing regular professional rugby league. And today his son Paul, 19 years his junior, will be the opposing prop in the Bradford lineup, the first time they've ever played against each other.
Father and son, have you been talking about the game this week?
We have. We've had a lot of hassle at work. He's been taking the Michael, saying we're going in the second division, but I think we've got a good enough start to beat Bradford today.
Has this been a dream for you, Jeff, to play either with or against your own son?
Well, it has, you know. I'm a granddad now, and he's been playing well as a boy this last 3 or 4 weeks and he deserved his place, and I'm just glad, if we do go in the second division, I'm just glad that I've played against him before I do go down there.
Paul, what's it going to be like out there on the pitch? When is it going to be a normal game? Are you going to give him a bit of stick or what?
Oh yes, I'll try and play my own normal game, but somewhere between us, like, so I'll just have to get stuck in.
You can't think about holding back?
Oh no, you can't think about holding back in a day like this.
Check on the teams for you. Featherstone bring the former Bradford man Richard Davis into the centre, and Andy Fisher's in at loose forward after 9 games as substitute. For Northern, Craig Richards comes into the second row, and Paul Medley switches to loose forward. This because Kelvin Skerritt, playing for Great Britain, was injured yesterday. Gerald Caudle came through that defeat against France unhurt, except perhaps for his pride. Well, coming later, as well as St Helens versus Sheffield, there's your chance to win a VIP day out at the Premiership final in our try of the season competition. Your commentators here at Post Office Road, David Watkins and John Held.
It's the most important match of the season for Featherstone Rovers. Defeat today would almost certainly consign them to second division rugby league next season, something nobody here at Post Office Road wants. So David, no doubt about it, those home defeats by Salford, Lee and Barrow could prove costly in the final analysis for Featherstone.
They can, because they really were doing well mid-season. They had that fine run of wins, and to suddenly see it all go wrong must be very worrying for Peter Fox. And as you rightly said, they don't want to get back into the second division, so today's game is crucial.
Mumby's kick. Alan Banks, just managing to take it, and then passing the ball out to full-back Chris Bibb, who David Hobbs can't bring down, but Roger Simpson can. So Featherstone coming down the hill in this first half, and the first touch of the ball for Gratian. A useful kick is that, and Richard Francis has to go back a long way, and it'll just go dead, so it'll be a tap on the 25. windy at Post Office Road, although it's a lovely afternoon here, lovely sunshine, very bright, slightly nippy, to say the least. An easy one for Keith Mumby to take, and he must have played here dozens of times, and that's a knock-on by Derek Fox. So even the best players can be a little bit nervous, and Derek Fox, player of the season here, as he always seems to be at Featherstone Rovers, showing maybe a sign of nerves there.
I think they have to be, because it is a crucial game, and he knows more than anybody else the pressures that they're under this afternoon to win in front of their home crowd.
Today's official, Jerry Kershaw from Thirsk, the green shirt, easily identifiable here, part of this colourful occasion. Jerry Kershaw is the one referee in the game who actually wants to put the ball into the scrum himself. He feels that that would help the game's flow. Hasn't had too much backing for it yet, but he does tell me that more people are coming round to his way of thinking. McGowan again has done well to make the yardage he did, but he lost the ball in the process. Trying a bit too hard. Newland. Bradford really have had a hoodoo sign over Featherstone in recent meetings. Medley getting it away to Harkin, now Gratian, and met by his father there. So father and son coming face to face. Everything revolves around Harkin, and that's a good ball slipped to Richards. Now Marchant comes onto it. Not sure which way to go, and he went on the short side. Richards gives it to Richard Francis. Only about 5 yards out. Francis, who's enjoyed his best try-scoring season for Northern. Harkin, Hobbs puts the little grubber kick through, disappointingly as well. Nobody had a hope of catching that one.
No, there was very little pattern. Both sides at the moment are making hard work of anything they're doing, and that kick ahead most certainly wasn't for anybody to get close to it. That's all it did really, was give Featherstone a new start to the game.
Rose's strength carried him a good 5 yards further than he might have got then. It's all very messy at the moment somehow. No good passing movements. Burton tries to do something about it. This is the man that Featherstone always looked to, Fox. It's a good kick from him. But they do know the importance of the occasion, and it's bound to have got through to them.
Well, yes, it is. They don't want to see themselves again in the second division next year. As you rightly say, Bradford are only worried about what position they can finish in the top 8. But really, Featherstone have really got to start working hard. They must realise now that it is important. They've got to get points on the board playing down to the Salters.
Oh, the ball has scrum one against the head. Now this does give Featherstone a chance, a good chance as well, as the ball is reversed inside here for Newland. So they've 5 more tackles, and they really ought to make something of this. Manning, who was a target for Bradford earlier in the season, he eventually left Keighley for Post Office Road. Trevor Clark, Fox, Fisher, Ranger loose forward. He got a couple of tries against St Helens when we were here earlier in the season. Fox again. 3 is Richard Davis, former Bradford Northern player. Chris Bibb looking to get up in the line, but the ball went the wrong way for him. Still there are chances. Gary Rose now, taken by Hobbs, by Medley. Last tackle, so Featherstone, the little chip through.
That's right, I think they're afraid to get caught in possession on the 6 play the ball. I can understand that because of the handover, but some of the kicks have been totally aimless and haven't given players in their side any chance at all of getting up with it.
Going the other way, Manning spins it back. Bibb again involved, ducks under a challenge. Bibb 5 yards out, still there. Well, he seemed to skip through challenge after challenge then. Still that try line is proving elusive. Can Rose make it? Nobody will whip the ball back. Oh, and Medley dives on it and then gives it back to Burton. Well, that was an astonishing sequence. They'll have another 6 tackles. Bradford certainly their own worst enemy there at Newlove. Well, Medley had done the hard part, he got to the ball and then he gave it back to Burton, but here's Manning and he might make it, will he? And it's kicked dead. Jerry Kershaw looks to the touch judge and he was impeded in going for his kick through. Manning kicked ahead and a penalty is awarded to Featherstone. He might have been looking for a penalty try.
Yes, I think he was in that circumstance. I think he was very unfortunate because he definitely put the ball ahead and he was knocked as he followed it up, which gave him little or no chance of ever getting to it.
Again, they rely on Fox, and the next surging run is by Smales. The Bradford line has held so far. Here comes Jeff Gratian. Can he make it all the way? Oh, the great battering ram. He won't mind me calling him that. Held short. Oh, there must be a try for Featherstone, surely, if they can get this ball away. Manning again, and Bradford continue to hold them, but Newlove makes it over in the corner, and the referee looks and points, and Newlove has the first try of the match for Featherstone. Paul Newlove, 21 tries, and that could be very, very important.
Well, Bradford have contributed to their own downfall here. They've done very little at all. They held back the tackler. There's 3 men in there. Derek Fox, I think, might have done more on his own, but it looked all over. No chance at all there. But the ball comes clear, and Newlove is outside Cordell and scores.
Derek Fox attempts to convert way out there. He has the backing of the Featherstone fans. He's missed. So 4 points to 0 then. Featherstone have the first points of the afternoon. Fox to Gratian. Gratian's lovely ball inside is for Clark. Oh, Trevor Clark playing well. He's got backs on the outside. Munby, as he's done so many times, came across the tackle. Featherstone have got a man on the inside. Smales was looking for the pass from Fisher, which didn't come. And Bradford suddenly have to defend again, and they could be ragged. It could be a try for Featherstone. He's in. Ian Smales, the try scorer, under the sticks. Ian Smales is the man to dive over for his 10th try of the season. Well,
they really came well. They've come the length of the field to get into this position here, and this really was good running. He wasn't held in the tackle. Smales went over under the post. What a good try.
This should be a simple enough kick for Derek Fox. 2 more points. And at 10-0, Featherstone are a lot happier than they were a few minutes ago. Showing his paces. Well, he might be in the closing stages of his rugby league career, Trevor Clark, but he's a sprightly enough runner still. And we're talking about people in the closing stages of their career. Jeff Gratian, well, he won't thank me for saying that. He wants to play till he's 50, I imagine. Was involved there. So is one of the new breed for Newlove.
Well, this is a better performance now by Featherstone. They're moving the ball around, and as you rightly said, Trevor Clark has made 1 or 2 lovely runs, and Caudle, that's all he's done in that attempt to catch in that pass, was giving it back to Featherstone for 6 more play the balls.
And another try before half-time really would set Featherstone up for a second half tilt, and they might get one as well. Fisher's here now. Again, Rose plunged well in that attack. Fox. Smales. Fox and Gratian try and work things between them, and Gratian with 6 minutes to the break clings onto the ball for dear life. Clark, chances now, Manning, and Newlove is strong. Not strong enough though to get over this time. He really has lifted them.
It certainly is a spirited performance now by Featherstone. They are really playing. I think they've realised that Bradford have done most things and haven't come up with the goods, and they suddenly realise themselves that this game is there for the taking, and they're starting certainly to run the ball about and making inroads into the Bradford defence, who seem to be all over the place.
They do have the ball with Roger Simpson. They haven't got the ball now. It will be a scrum. Simpson looked as though he might be hurt in that. Picking himself up rather groggily. Harking to feed the scrum, and I can use that phrase nowadays. Featherstone Rovers in the lead. Bradford trying to work their way away from their own line, relying on the boot of Keith Mumby to do so. It's charged down, Burton flicks it back. Gratian carries on for Featherstone, and whatever Bradford have attempted just hasn't come off in this half, and that certainly didn't. They're looking for a third try in the half, and Rose, who's been very impressive for me, takes Featherstone to midway inside that 25. Trevor Clark, he's been impressive too. Gratian, who's got over a poor start. About 3 tackles to go. First man in is Burton. 2 to go. Gratian. Oh, there's an almost delayed action on that, and so it's the last tackle. They'll still try for something, and they might get something. They do. It's a Derek Fox drop. And 11-0 is just that little bit better than 10-0.
Well, it's always good to see that, because when you put pressure on the side, it's surprising what a couple of tries can do to a team. They've really come into the game. Just watch this. They've been pushing away at the Bradford line now, and Fox decides he's got to do something on the sticks, and look at that drop goal. Perfect.
Smack through the middle and almost onto our cameraman's head. I'm sure Bradford would feel a lot happier if they could register on the scoreboard before the break. They've less than 3 minutes in which to do that, and the response is again from Smales here. He is a very, very good runner, and he's got the ball inside for Crispin. Crispin chased by Caudle. He won't make it though, won't Caudle, but Bibb will. And the Featherstone crowd are going wild here. 3 tries in the closing stages of the half. Bibb 16th of the season. No more than Featherstone deserved.
Well, what a try this is. A long kick out came up the field. Banks ran it out from here, and Smales, in familiar fashion, really sprints down the middle of the field, breaking the Bradford defence. He swerves inside, doesn't lose his balance at all, as all good players should do. Bibb follows up, and now he's warding off the wing passes and goes over for a remarkably good try.
Derek Fox. Yes, it is. 2 more, 17-0. And Featherstone couldn't possibly have dreamt of being in such a strong position even 10 minutes ago. And they continue to move the ball around. Now then, Richard Davis tries to go through the middle. tackling better that time. Ox, Gratian, the ball whizzing through the hands. Clark back inside Newlove. And what an end to the half. 17 points to nil it is then. Featherstone are in the lead, and I wonder how the mother of Paul Gratian and the wife of Jeff Gratian thinks about that first half, and I wonder who she's supporting today. Sue Gratian is down on the touchline with me.
Sue, what have you made of that first half?
Oh, brilliant. Well, 17-2 at half-time is just what we need, Featherstone. We need these 2 points desperately. I feel Paul, my son on Bradford side, is doing enough to keep on the side, and it's just great.
Not any awkward moments where the two have gone crashing into each other?
Not yet, no. There was one incident earlier on, and all the crowd turned around to say, "Oh, look at me," but I turned a blind eye.
You look as though you might be enjoying it.
I am, yes, I am, very much so.
Sue, thanks very much. Let's start the first half with John.
It's a good job. Sue loves rugby league as much as everybody else in the family. There we are, 17-0 then. Tries from Paul Newlove, from Ian Smales and from Chris Bibb to go with those couple of goals, and a drop from Derek Fox. All the scoring has been Featherstone's, but we'll be right back with the second half after the break.
98 40 40 40. It's fun on the line 24 hours a day. Remember the number 0898 40 40 40.
Welcome back to Post Office Road as Featherstone take the field, and 17 points to the good. They must be pretty happy about that situation. Well, Peter Fox generally has plenty to say to his team in the dressing room. I imagine he's just said to them, keep going, keep playing like that, lads, and the 2 points will be ours. Peter's down on the touchline with Nick.
Peter, if I'd offered you 17 points to nil at half-time, you'd have accepted that, wouldn't you?
I would have certainly accepted that. Yes, the lads have played very well. We've played some good rugby. And if we win this one, which we've got to fight still hard in the next 40 minutes, to hold them out and then do some more rugby, play some more rugby of our own. You know, I don't think it's quite enough to be sat back and say we're satisfied.
So you'll have them keep going, keep scoring points?
We've got to keep going and score some more points, because we're sure that they'll score some this half. So we have to score some more ourselves.
Thanks very much indeed.
Featherstone be striking up the hill as they were in that last quarter of an hour down the hill. Here's Jeff Gratian. He's played up this hill a few times, that's for sure. In both colours. There's a kick for touch, which is good. So let's have the statistics from the first half. Bradford taking the scrums at 7-5. Though Featherstone's Trevor Clark did win, the only one to go against the head, and near the Bradford line it was too. The penalties, Bradford have conceded 5 to Featherstone's 2, and the errors in play. Featherstone made more, but they saw more of the ball. David Hobbs had plenty of words to say to his team in the dressing room.
Well, I was only thinking that myself. It must have been contrasting really from one dressing room to the other. Fox obviously telling his players to keep going that way, and really David Hobbs having a hard task in trying to convince people that they really have to step up a gear if they want to make any inroads at all into this game this afternoon.
Paul Gratian might be hurt too here, I think he is, and Jeff Gratian is there with him, so father and son. Father's up. He's all right, and I'm sure he's inquiring about the health of his son. Bradford were thinking of bringing on Henderson Gill anyway, but it's unusual for an opponent to have to worry about the opposite number.
That's right, really. It was a crunching tackle, and it just goes to show that there was nothing, no bars were held in that situation. But he is down there now, and Ronnie Barrett is on there, one of the top physios in the game, having you looked at it. And I'm sure he'll give him the right sort of advice as to whether or not he should stay on the field or come off.
The first nervous moment for Sue Gratian in the crowd as well. He's up, and it's nice to see father helping him up, but Paul Gratian is coming off and might not play any further part in the game, one imagines. And Jeff Gratian is a good dad as well, anxiously looking to see that his son is going to be all right. Not what he would have wanted.
Certainly isn't, and he was providing some of the firepower in Bradford's pack, was young Gratian, so it'll be interesting to see how they cope without him.
Henderson Gill is on for Bradford Northern, but it's Featherstone now, and Bebu got that excellent try before the break, joining the line. Rose. Clark, who's run really well, and now Fox. Tim Sharp, taken by Smales, and Smales does well to whip that ball away over to Alan Banks, who comes in field. Bradford are being stretched again. Sharp showing it and not giving it to Rose. But the handling really excellent there. And here's Rose once more. He's had a storming game in the front row. Last tackle, could be another Fox drop goal. He's got the space for it, and he's going to have a go for it, and he's going to score with it.
So that's a captain's part, isn't it? They put all the pressure on, they play some very good football, very enterprising, moving the ball around, causing problems for a Bradford side. Keeps the pressure on, drops the goal, comes away with the point. Most important.
Vaughan gets it away for Marchant. Now he's got support here, Fairbank, and if he can get past Bibb's challenge, he'll get it away for Marchant again. Has to spin it out right for Henderson Gill. Corner's outside him, he has to come back inside. Featherstone covering well. Medley now. They've suddenly got a bit fired up at Bradford. That's on the last tackle. They really need tries, and that's a long ball from Hobbs to Caudle, and Gerald Caudle must score, surely. Bradford are on the board. Caudle gets his 5th try in 3 games against Featherstone this season, and it's the first sign at all that Bradford have really got an appetite for the match.
Well, we've been expecting Bradford to do something all afternoon, but this time they've started to move it out wide, and Caudle takes that ball superbly outside and comes inside to score a try. Well, they really needed something, did Bradford Northern. Something had to happen. They've tried to move the ball out a number of times. This time it was for Caudle to step in off the touchline and cross over with 2 tackles.
He is a good finisher, as he showed yesterday. 28 tries in all this season, but no goal again for Mumby. And it's 18-4. Bradford a little happier, but only a little. They need a few more yet.
Well, at least they looked a little bit livelier in the last 3 or 4 minutes. They started putting it together a little bit and realising it isn't all down the middle stuff. And Fairbank really went through, didn't have any support the first time, but when they eventually moved it out, of course, Caudle got into the corner, and that must please them, and realise they must do it more often.
Kershaw must come over and takes on. Tony Marchant straight away explains that it wasn't an intentional thing. I think that he was running into him, and the penalty awarded.
Just look at that. I mean, it was, but he did actually catch hold of the jersey, did Tony Marchant, and he really didn't hit him physically. It was just the jolt of snatching him back after he thought he was going through the gap.
Referee Kershaw listened to what Marchant had to say, I think. I don't think he actually saw it from the position he was in either, too clearly.
I think in those circumstances the referee has to be sensible as well. If a player does go down and he is obviously hurt with it, then that must be a sending off offence. I mean, if the offence is like we just saw then and he realises no danger with it.
Well, the struggle here for Bradford, and Smales is going to make it! Smales, he's there! A second try for the second row forward. Oh, he deserves that grin. Bales has run with colossal purpose all afternoon, and that surely is the killer blow to Bradford's chances today.
Well, they move it out here. They've taken that penalty. They're moving the ball out wide. Now he's run onto the ball. He was subject to the tackle just before this, but it's his sheer strength now coming through. But look how nimble he is in taking the man out as well with the sidestep, and he goes over despite the tackle. Well, Featherstone really had to do something good here, and it was Smale strong running after a tricky move, but his stepping inside was good here, leaves the defence for dead now. Simpson catches him near the line, but his momentum takes him over.
And Featherstone soon further in front with the 2 points from Fox's boot. 24-4, and that surely is going to be good enough. And it's a great fillip for the club here, is this.
Well, it's a mammoth task now for Bradford to get back into the game. I think they have been their own worst enemies in the way in which they've approached the game and played it this afternoon. But you mustn't take anything away from this Featherstone side, because they've come out here, they knew as well what pressures would be on them, and they've really taken the game this after the first quarter to Bradford Northern with great effect.
They've certainly had a greater appetite on the day.
They certainly have.
Torn, he's lost the ball, and what a time for Richard Davis to knock on. The try line was begging for him to go over.
Well, I think he was more surprised than anybody else then, but that ball came loose and Derek Fox immediately moved it to the right, and that really was a sitter he missed then. He fumbled away with it. I mean, it really put down a scoring opportunity then.
Bradford's ball. That is really happy reading for Featherstone fans, and the gulf is as great as that scoreline reflects. That's better movement, and here is some pace from Simpson. He's so quick, he really is. He's like Grease lightning. He was going the right way, then down the hill as well. And they've held him down in the tackle, which happens so often. There's a blight on the game at the moment.
Well, it is. The Aussies brought it over here some years ago, and it's been maintained now by everybody in the country. If you want to slow things down, get one or two of you into the tackle, lie on him, and as a result then the referee will give you a penalty.
Bradford are desperate for a score. They've only a few minutes left. Hobbs still trying to work that ball out. 10 minutes to go. They're 20 points behind. But Harkin tries to get Medley in, and he's there. Medley's in. A try for Bradford Northern. Paul Medley, the scorer. And that was a lovely ball delivered by Paul Harkin. Paul Medley's 12th score then, and a simple one.
Well, you have to ask the question, why didn't they do it more often? As soon as they start moving it out wide, Medley, who has been full of running, hasn't been given many opportunities, really skates through the defence, makes it all look so easy.
(24-8) is 24-10 now. Mumby's first successful kick of the afternoon.
Well, we've said all afternoon, Bradford must move it wide if they want to do anything at all, and they do it again here. A lovely pass from Paul Harkin. Medley, full of running on the outside, skates through the defence.
Four minutes to go. Penalty this time is Featherstone's, and referee Kershaw seems to be pointing to the skies. Substitute for Featherstone coming on is Martin Pearson, a youngster from Charleston who had a couple of first-team outings last season. It's his first one this time. really hard-working performance from Featherstone, the sort that one expects from this club. It makes it all the more of a mystery how on earth they lost to Barrow in particular this season. The only team to have been beaten by Barrow all season. How did it happen? Fox keeps them ticking. Gratian gets the ball away to Manning. Lovely movement along the line. And it really would be the icing on the cake if Featherstone could get a 5th try. .24-10 is comprehensive enough for the moment. Marchant got out of the tackle, keeps going as well, Marchant. Well played by him, and he's got it away. Francis, oh, Richard Francis might make it all the way for a sensational score for Bradford. Richard Francis, that's one of the best tries I've seen all season. He's gone 60 yards, Marchant started it, Francis certainly finished it, and what a way to finish it as well.
Well, Bradford, knowing that they haven't played as well as they can play, they haven't moved it out much at all, but first times and the times that they have moved it about, they've done something about it. Now it's Marchant that starts coming back in field. He starts pushing off defenders and then slips the ball to Johnson on the wing. Now just look at that, Francis. And Francis comes forward down the field, and that is really grace and style. Sheer speed takes him away from all the opposition. Half caught, but no doubt in the try.
Splendid try, and the goal from Mumby makes it 24-16. I still think it's too late for Bradford to do much about the eventual outcome, but at least they've made it look a much more respectable scoreline.
Well, we've said all along that they must move the ball out, and the times they do it, they've looked good. Marchant shrugging off tacklers here, but look where Richard Francis is in this movement. He's way behind at the moment, but he watches how Marchant is knocking people off. Then he picks it up, streaks away from the defence, runs at an angle, making coverers have to run that much further. They give chase, and they nearly do catch him, but it wasn't to be.
We're already in injury time. Featherstone 24, Bradford Northern 16. Huge kick, which Mumby fields, as he's done over the years, in exemplary fashion. So that's it, and two precious points indeed for Featherstone Rovers. They now have to wait the results of others, but at least for the moment they've overhauled Sheffield and they've overtaken Lee as well in that league table, and the Featherstone fans here will be hoping and praying that the 2 points they've picked up from the 24 points to 16 win over Bradford Northern will be enough to keep Featherstone in the First Division. They do have to play Leeds, of course, on Good Friday, a match we will be showing on Scrumdown, but today this was good enough. 24-16, tries from Newlove, 2 from Ian Smales and 1 from fullback Chris Bibb, along with those great efforts from Derek Fox, 3 goals and a couple of drops. Bradford came late with tries from Caudle, Medley and Francis, and a couple of goals from Keith Mumby, but they came too late. 24-16 then, and the man of the match is in the Featherstone Rovers dressing room, David Watkins.
Well, the Stones Better Man of the Match award this afternoon goes to Gary Rose at number 10. He didn't figure in the scorers, but he did say before the game this afternoon, I don't want second division football. He certainly meant what he said, a forceful performance, strong running, good tackling and plenty of commitment, a justified award.
Congratulations, Gary, and you most certainly helped Featherstone's cause in saving you for the First Division this year.
Well, I moved from second division Keighley to Featherstone for First Division rugby, and I'm just glad that we got 2 points today, and hopefully we can stop up like with his last game at Leeds and get another 2 points off Leeds like we did, didn't they?
Well, congratulations, a well-deserved award.
Thanks very much.
Peter, you've been in the game long enough to know it's not all over yet, but at least you've given yourself some breathing space.
Yes, we had to win one, John, of his last 3 or 4 matches, and I've always thought that Bradford were the side we could beat. We were at home, because we beat them well last season, and I also remembered that. But after them thrashing us at Bradford, we knew it was going to be hard, whichever one we had to win.
Were you surprised they didn't put a bit more pressure on you? I mean, you came out after half-time and said you expected them to score points, but they didn't really show until the last quarter of an hour, maybe.
No, I think our lads tiring was the only reason we let the scores in late on, but The first half was superb performance by ours. After 10 minutes settling down, we realised that Bradford weren't as powerful as what they have been most of the season, and the lads played superb rugby to score some smashing tries. And I think it'll show that it would be sad if Featherstone Rovers did finish in the second division, because we are a first division side by the way we play football and some of the class players that we have got.
Now the day's statistics. Bradford may have struggled in open play, but Brian Noble bossed the scrums, taking them 11-7. And he and his opposite number, Trevor Clark, each had the satisfaction of winning one scrum against the head. The penalty count was identical to the scrum count, Bradford conceding 11 to Featherstone 7. And not much in it either when it comes to making mistakes. 15 made by Rovers, 14 by Northern. Now Nick has the rest of the day's happenings.
And tonight's headline, Eagles in a flap. Paul Forber picks up 2 tries as St Helens increase Sheffield's relegation worries. Elsewhere, Phil Eden's hat-trick crowns Wakefield's fight back at Salford. Phil Windley, 2 tries in Hull's 7th successive win. Wilf George, 4 tries as Halifax thrash out their frustration on Whitehaven. The results from the Stonesbitter Championship. Featherstone Rovers 24, Bradford Northern 16. Hull 44, Warrington 16. Salford 18, Wakefield 28. St Helens 42, Sheffield 26. And now the action from Knowsley Road with Brendan Foley.
Injuries had shorn Saints of 10 first-team players, but with the top 4 spot their priority, they were never going to show any mercy to their relegation-threatened opponents. George Mann keeping his feet well here, a great pass from him, and Paul Forber lets in Phil Vevers for the opening try. Dave Tanner had the kicking duties in the absence of the injured Paul Loughlin. No mistake, 6-0. Martin Kettridge reduced the arrears with a penalty, then the Eagles really showed their claws. Watch out for a really nifty bit of juggling from second rower Sonny Nicol. Plenty of determination too as he dives over. Kettridge makes no mistake with the conversion, the Eagles in front at 8-6. That served to stoke up Saints in no uncertain manner. A terrific run from centre Tony Kay coming up here. And scrum half Jonathan Griffiths says thanks very much. Tanner converted to make it 12-8. Then Saints moved up a gear. Paul Groves makes the break. Mark Bailey's there to finish in style. Again converted by Tanner, but then the Eagles struck back. A brilliant individual effort from winger David Nelson. Question marks about the Saints tackling maybe, but a clinical finish nonetheless. Kettridge converted, but Saints restored their 6-point lead with this penalty from Tanner. Their first try of the second half owed much to the tenacity of Phil Vevers, ducking and diving his way out of 3 tackles before slipping the ball to Paul Forber. Let's face it, there was no stopping him. Next, smart work by hooker Paul Groves. His dummy completely wrong-foots the Eagle defence. A pass by Bailey, and Forber's there again for try number 2. Now the try that really sealed the Eagles' fate. The scrum won against the head, an explosive break by Griffiths, and Alan Hunt literally airborne as he flies over. Tanner kicked his 6th goal of the night, Saints out of sight at 36-14. They were perhaps a little too overconfident now. Forber makes a hash of Vevers' pass, and Andy Dickinson's on hand to take full advantage. There was never any doubt about the outcome though. Vevers again the provider, and George Mann barges his way over for Saints' 7th try of the night. Tanner converted yet again, and though the Eagles snatched a late consolation try through Kellett, the final score was St Helens 42, Sheffield 26.
And that win takes St Helens back up to 3rd behind Wigan and Leeds, who meet on Tuesday. Scrumdown will be there. Hull are up to 4th, Wakefield back in the top 8. At the bottom, Featherstone are up 2 places. Sheffield are down 1, but Lee must either win at home to Castleford, that's on Thursday, not Tuesday as we said earlier, or at Wigan next Monday to have a chance of staying up. Division 2, Fulham 14, Dewsbury 14. Halifax 74, Whitehaven 0. Huddersfield 14, Swinton 9. Nottingham 8, Chorley 42. Oldham 48, Carlisle 16. Rochdale 52, Keighley 0. Runcorn 12, Hulkingston Rovers 38. Workington 0, Doncaster 11. Hulkingston Rovers look hot favourites to be champions. Rochdale have overtaken Oldham in 2nd place on goal difference. Rydale York now need one more win for a top 4 spot, and Dewsbury are definitely in the playoffs. Well, now your chance to win a VIP day out at the Premiership final at Old Trafford in our Try of the Season competition. We want your top 3 in order from these 10 tries. Try A was scored by Jeff Hardy in the first scrumdown of the season for Sheffield Eagles against Widnes.
Hardy to Powell. A little bit muddled in there, but Smiles has found a gap and Dickinson carries on. And now Hardy through the gap. Jeff Hardy could get all the way. Hardy's in! And surely now, Widnes are dead.
Another Australian scored try B. Noel Cleal with this one for Hull at home to Salford.
Eastwood, Windley, Gay, and now they'll try and whip that ball away through the hands, and a real chance here for Hull. And a terrific surge from Nolan, but a poor ball, although it's still here. Gay, Cleal, Wilby, Cleal again, and Noel Cleal is over. What a popular try for a very popular man.
Now the other Humberside club, Hull Kingston Rovers, Greg Austin scored the try at home to Swinton.
Niebling through the hands, Emma gets in away as well. Bishop's herring for the line. Hurls the ball back inside. Greg Austin will be the scorer.
Now try D. It was Gary Connolly's late match winner for St Helens at Featherstone.
But St Helens do have the ball, and they are coming up this hill with Loughlin getting it away onto this wing to Alan Hunt. He scored one in the first minute, and he's got it away for Loughlin. Inside is Beavers. Beavers chased by Drummond. Connolly under the posts. What a score!
Try E came in the Australian Grand Final. It was scored by Gary Belcher for Canberra against Balmain.
Walters, Stewart, the long pass comes out. Belcher, a longer pass, beautifully plucked out of the air by Daly. Back on the inside, Ferguson away from one. Ferguson switches it back to Belcher. Belcher will almost get there. Yes, Gary Belcher. Gary Belcher scores the try.
Back to Britain for try F. Andy Mason, the scorer for Wakefield at home to Salford.
They can play this one quickly, there might still be a chance of a 5th try. Lulai wants to get involved. Ray Price does too. And the ball is out on that far side. Andy Mason goes for the corner. Andy Mason makes it in the corner. Wakefield have their 5th try. Mason has his 2nd.
Now try G. Ian Jeffrey. It was scored for Lee at Hull.
Case, Beardmore, Ruane. Well, they're throwing that ball around, and Jeffrey is dangerous. And Jeffrey has got past Windley, and Jeffrey's going to get all the way. Excellent score. What a fine try for Ian Jeffrey. He deserves it as well.
Try H was scored by Gerald Caudle. It was scored for Bradford Northern against Leeds at Headingley.
Some encouragement for Bradford, and sure Harkin will be doubly aware from this scrum. He doesn't make the same mistake and spreads it out for McGowan, and McGowan has support from Mumby. Mumby has it out for Caudle. Now Caudle's quick, and can he make that line? He's a yard short, he's over. To try for Gerald Caudle. The immediate reply from Bradford, and the look says it all.
Martin Afire had to be in there somewhere. He got try I for Widnes at home to Hull.
They were so much on top at one stage in the first half, you wouldn't have believed it possible. That ball is put down, and it's put down, and given to Afire. Oh, they won't stop him. Away he goes. Thank you very much, he says.
And finally, try J, scored on April Fool's Day by John Bentley for Leeds at home to St Helens.
We're in injury time in this half. Oh, and Bentley steams onto it. What a run from Bentley! Magnificent try! He's a hero now.
Well, 10 heroes for you to choose from. Here they are again, a quick reminder. Try A was Jeff Hardy, B, Noel Cleal, C, Greg Austin, D, Gary Connolly, E, Gary Belcher, F, Andy Mason, G. Ian Jeffrey, H. Gerald Caudle, I. Martin Afire, and J. John Bentley. And we'd like your entry, please, on a postcard or a sealed envelope, and please just one entry per person. On one side, put your top tries in 1, 2, 3 order, plus, of course, your name and address. And we'd like your entries by the 12th of April. That's this Thursday. Here's the address to send them to. Scrumdown, Try of the Season competition, Yorkshire Television, Leeds, LS3 1JS. Don't forget your entries by the 12th of April. That's this Thursday, so you need to get cracking. The address once more, Scrumdown, Try of the Season competition, Yorkshire Television, Leeds, LS3 1JS. And good luck. And that's it. Don't miss Tuesday's Scrumdown special at 11:35, Wigan versus Leeds, with the title up for grabs. And we're also here on Good Friday, 11:35, Easter Monday, 10:45, following the championship run-in and the relegation battle, where Featherstone have done themselves a favour. Good night.